Okay, chalo. So let us start the session. Good morning to all. My name is Professor Dr. Todkari, Dr. Vinod Todkari, and we will be discussing about systems in mechanical engineering. Right? Okay. Let me introduce myself. As I have told you that my name is Dr. Vinod Todkari. From last 20 years, I'm in teaching profession. Right? And uh, as far as our subject is concerned, in first year you are having this subject systems in mechanical engineering. Before starting the subject, let us discuss for 5 to 10 minutes and then we'll move on to the subject, right? Okay. Now see, I will just tell you a story. It will hardly take 2 to 5 minutes, but it will make your idea clear that why should we do engineering. Few of you might be knowing this story. Do you know the story of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam? In US Senate, when he was asked the question that what is the happiest moment in your life? Do you know what was his answer? When APJ Abdul Kalam was asked this question that what is the happiest moment in your life? Do you know what he answered? जेव्हा युएसच्या सिनेटमध्ये डॉक्टर एपीजे अब्दुल कलामांना प्रश्न विचारला होता की तुमच्या आयुष्यातली सर्वात आनंदाची घटना कोणती आहे? व्हॉट इज द हॅपीएस्ट मोमेंट इन युअर लाईफ? एनी गेसेस? एपीजे अब्दुल कलामांच्या आयुष्यातली सर्वात आनंदाची घटना कोणती असेल? जस्ट टेल मी, एम आय क्लिअरली ऑडिबल?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So people thought that becoming 11th president of India might be the happiest moment in his life. Some thought that he was known as missile man, so launching of Agni missile or Prithvi missile may be the happiest moment in his life. But he told them that those were the happy moment, but those were not the happiest moment. The happiest moment was when he visited the hospital at Chennai. He saw that there was a girl who was not able to walk properly. So he just called the doctor and he asked the doctor that why she is not able to walk properly. So the doctor told that there is FRO, that is flow reaction orthosis strips, which are kept on her leg, right, which are fitted to her leg, and weight of that FRO strips is about 4.5 kg. एक मुलगी होती, तिला चालता येत नव्हतं. जेव्हा एपीजे अब्दुल कलामांनी चेन्नईचं हॉस्पिटल व्हिजिट केलं तेव्हा त्यांनी ते दृश्य पाहिलं की एक मुलगी आहे 9 to 10 years old अँड शी इज नॉट एबल टू वॉक प्रॉपरली. कारण तिच्या पायाला ज्या स्ट्रिप्स बसवल्या होत्या एफआरओ नावाच्या फ्लो रिएक्शन ऑर्थोसिस, त्यांचं वजन 4.5 किलो होतं. देन एपीजे थॉट की आपण स्पेसमध्ये, इन स्पेस वी यूज कंपोजिट मटेरियल्स. कंपोजिट मटेरियल्स कसे असतात? कंपोजिट सेम स्ट्रेंथ बट दे आर व्हेरी लाइट वेट मटेरियल्स. So APJ thought that why can't we use that composite materials for this case, for manufacturing of these FRO strips. Okay, so what did APJ did? त्यांनी त्यांची जी रिसर्च टीम होती त्या रिसर्च टीमला कॉल केला आणि त्यांना सांगितलं की मी तुम्हाला FRO चे डिझाईन्स पाठवतोय आणि या डिझाईन्स मध्ये तुम्ही कंपोजिट मध्ये हे FRO तयार करून मला पाठवा. आणि लगेच दुसऱ्या दिवशी त्या टीमनी ते डिझाईन्स तयार करून पाठवले कंपोजिट्स मध्ये. अँड नाव दे वर वेइंग जस्ट अबाउट 450 grams, राईट. आणि मग त्या स्ट्रिप्स त्या मुलीच्या पायाला बसवल्या अँड शी वॉज एबल टू वॉक प्रॉपरली. अँड वेन हर पॅरेंट्स सॉ दॅट अवर डॉटर इज एबल टू वॉक प्रॉपरली, सो देर वेर tears because of happiness in their eyes. And APJ said that that was the happiest moment in my life. Why I narrated this story to you? I just wanted to tell you that see, we owe a lot to society. Whatever engineering knowledge you are going to get in these 4 years, that you should utilize for the betterment of the society. There is a difference between intellect and wise. Intellect is a person who knows what is profitable and what is not, but wise is a person who knows what is correct and what is not, right? Anyway, so I just give you best wishes, right? I expect that you will become wise engineers, right? And with this objective, right, we'll start our session. The name of this subject is systems in mechanical engineering, right? Now see, all of you may not be from mechanical background. Some of you may be from computers, IT, AIDS, ENTC, electrical and civil, right? Then tell me, if you are from other backgrounds, why should you study this subject, systems in mechanical engineering? Or why, what do you think? Why first year is common to all branches? What are your views? Why a computer engineer should study civil engineering and mechanical engineering? Why a mechanical engineer should study civil engineering, electrical engineering? What are your views?
To get some basic knowledge about every field.
Excellent, Shiva. To get some basic knowledge about that field. Yes, anything else? Because see, nowadays there is interdisciplinary sciences, right? If you talk about robotics and automation, you need knowledge of mechanical engineering for mechanisms, right? For the movements of robots, for degrees of freedoms, right? For trajectory motion, you will need knowledge of mechanical engineering. Some sensors will be there for which you will need knowledge of electronics engineering, right? Some actuators will be there, some electrical motors will be there, so you will need knowledge of electrical engineering, right? Programming will be there, right? Robotics programming is there, so you need knowledge of computer engineering. And need not be only in robotics and automation. Nowadays all fields they are, right? So as an engineer, we must know basic knowledge of subjects. That's why you go to any university, need not be Indian university, even if you go for foreign universities, in first year, you have to study subjects of all branches, right? So that you will come to know about basic fundamentals in every stream. You will come to know that what is there in mechanical engineering. Let's say you are a computer engineer, right? You are going to become a programmer, and let's say you have to do some coding of CNC machine, right? At that time, should not say that I don't know what is CNC machine, right? I don't know which different tools are there. I don't know what is cut, what is depth of cut, right? I don't know about turning operation or any other operation. So, being an engineer, we must have knowledge of all domains. That's why in first year, all branches are there, right? In first year, the syllabus is common to all branches because all sciences are interlinked. If you say like I'm a mechanical engineer, there is no scope for you. But if you say I'm an engineer, yes, there is lot of scope for you, right? As I always told this example that engineers are there in all streams. Engineering is an approach. Being an engineer, you can crack general UPSC also at the earliest because engineers know how to cover a syllabus, how to understand a syllabus. Engineers have good IQ, right? Intellectually, they are good. So they can understand the things within minimum time. That is called as acclimatized quotient, right? Engineers have good AQ as well. Okay, anyway, so we'll start with our syllabus, right? See, the name of this subject is Systems in Mechanical Engineering. And the total weightage of this subject is 125 marks, right? 100 marks theory is there and 25 marks is there for the practicals. So I will just share my screen. So can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see, if you can see here, in semester examination is there for 30 marks and end semester examination is there for 70 marks. So total weightage is 100 marks, right? Maybe in first lecture, do you know this pattern? For in semester examination, how many units are there? Okay, fine. I will just tell you that for in semester examination, 2 units are there. इन सेमिस्टर एक्झामिनेशन साठी पहिले 2 युनिट असतात आणि एंड सेमिस्टर एक्झामिनेशन साठी युनिट नंबर 3, 4, 5 and 6 are there. So totally there are 6 units. I repeat, there are 6 units in all subjects. And for all subjects, there will be in semester examination and end semester examination, right? In semester examination is of 30 marks and end semester examination is of 70 marks. For in semester examination, first 2 units are there, and for end semester examination, unit number 3, 4, 5, and 6 are there. Okay. So maybe probably next week your offline lectures will be starting, right? At that time we can see practicals in a more detailed format, right? See, you will be having 3 hours per week. This is as per university syllabus. Here we conduct 4 hours per week. Sometimes we also cover 5 hours per week for theory, right? Okay. And practical is there for 2 hours per week. So there will be 3 batches. That details you will come to know that you are in which batch. I think you know your roll numbers and batches, right? All of you, do you know your roll numbers?
Yes, sir, only roll numbers.
Yes,
But
sir.
yes,
Sir.
Okay. See, batches are like roll number 1 to 24. They will be in batch number 1. Roll number 1 to 24. From 25 to 48, they will be in batch number 2. And 49 onwards, they will be in batch C. So batches are like A, B, and C. So first A will be from roll number 1 to roll number 24. 25 to 48, that will be batch B. That will be first B. And first C will be 49 onwards. Anyway, so this is examination scheme. As this is our first lecture, you must know name of the subject, right? We'll just discuss about this, that what things we are going to study, right? What things are there in systems in mechanical engineering. Okay. Now see, in semester examination is there for 30 marks and end semester examination is there for 70 marks. As I have told you that in semester examination will be based on first 2 units. See, this is the syllabus of the units. These are the course contents, unit number 1, unit number 2. This is what we will discuss in today's session. And along with this, we'll also discuss this. So the total weightage of systems in mechanical engineering subject is 125 marks, out of which there is theory for 100 marks and practical session is there for 25 marks, right? Now see, whenever you start studying any subject, initially, like whenever we go to restaurant, we just ask them, just give us the menu card. Similar to that, whenever you start studying any subject, the first lecture should be dedicated exclusively to the syllabus. Or whenever you start studying, firstly you should go through the syllabus, contents of the syllabus. Now see, these are the course objectives. Course means subject, right? Course means subject. And objectives. Objectives means the reason. Why should we study this subject? These are the objectives behind studying this subject. So the objectives are, you should identify the sources of energy and their conversions. Now see, as an engineer, we must be in a position to understand conversion of energy. For example, we drive our vehicles. In vehicles, let's say you are using petrol vehicle. So tell me, which energy gets converted into which energy? Yes. So petrol is there means fuel is there. So there is chemical energy, right? So what we do, we convert that chemical energy into mechanical energy, right? When wheel is rotating, we say that mechanical energy is there, right? So we convert chemical energy of fuel initially into heat energy, right? We carry out combustion of the fuel. We use spark plug, right? So that we carry out combustion of the fuel. So we convert chemical energy of the fuel into thermal energy, and then we convert that thermal energy into mechanical energy. Anyway, what I mean to say is that there are plenty of locations where we conduct conversion of energy. That we will discuss in detail, right? Okay. So first unit is dedicated to this. First unit is dedicated to sources of energy, different sources of energy, like sun is there, wind is there, hydraulic energy is there, hydroelectric power plants are there, nuclear energy is there, so nuclear power plants are there, thermal energy is there. So we have to study thermal power plants. So we have to see that whatever electricity we are receiving in our residential places or commercial places, how that electricity is generated. Basically, we have to give a thought to that how energy conversions are carried out. Right? Okay. Even if you are using automobile as an engineer, you must know whether it is a two-stroke engine or a four-stroke engine. Right? You must know specifications of that engine. Right? You must know specifications of your automobile. Anyway, that we'll discuss later on. So the first course objective is to identify the sources of energy and their convergence. See, all these things, I'm just briefing you that these are the things which we are going to study during our lectures, right? As this is our first lecture, I'm just telling you that these are the things which we are going to study. Okay, this is the second course objective. That now see, you are a bit acquainted with this to explain the basic concept of engineering thermodynamics and its application. Okay, so I think you know this engineering thermodynamics. Do you know about engineering thermodynamics? Or do you know, have you heard this word before, thermodynamics? Yes, am I
Yes, sir.
audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thermo means heat, dynamics means in motion, right? Whenever heat energy is there in motion, that study is called as thermodynamics. That when we'll go to the syllabus, we'll discuss the things in detail, right? Then you should be able to understand specifications of the vehicles. When you go to purchase a vehicle, right? You will see the manual, you will see the catalog, and in catalog there are specifications of the vehicles, right? Like what type of engine is there, what is the cc of the engine, what is the swept volume, what is the clearance volume, right? Which different suspension systems are there, right? What kind of steering is there, whether it is power steering or manual steering, and plenty of other stuff is there. What safety precautions they have taken, whether they have given airbags or not. So all those details, how a vehicle is specified, that is what we have to study, and that is there in unit number 3. Then you should get acquainted with vehicle systems. Different vehicle systems are there. Transmission system is there, right? Plenty of systems are there. So all vehicle systems we have to study. Then next is we have to study manufacturing processes, right? See, being an engineer, what we do, we convert raw material into workpiece. So when we convert raw material into workpiece, we go for subtractive manufacturing and additive manufacturing. Generally in machining, in lathe machine, it may be milling machine, we go for subtractive manufacturing. We remove the excess material. That's why it is called as subtractive manufacturing, right? And in 3D printing, we go for additive manufacturing. We add on the material. Okay, anyway, that we'll discuss in detail. See, whenever lectures will start, I will share all notes with you. I will share PowerPoint presentation with you. At the same time, I will share the question banks also with you, right? So you need not bother. Just I'm giving an introduction to what things we are going to study, right? So we are going to study different manufacturing processes, different machines, and then we are going to study different domestic appliances. Like we use water filters, right? That we are going to study. We use refrigerators, right? We use air conditioners. So after studying this unit, you will come to know how a refrigerator works. What is evaporator, compressor, condenser, and throttle valve? What is a refrigerant? How to select a refrigerant? How refrigerator is specified? What is the location of condenser? What is the location of evaporator? Why freezer compartment is always at the top? Why condenser coils are at the back of the refrigerator, right? Then you can also design air conditioners, right? For your household purpose, you will decide that whether I should go for 1 ton AC or 1.5 ton AC or half ton AC, right? You can do that heat calculations as well. At the same time, you will understand how a air conditioner works. How a air conditioner works. What is the meaning of conditioning the air? Right? How to control temperature of the air, how to control humidity of the air, how to maintain purity of the air, and how to maintain air in motion. That everything we are going to study here, right? But as it is our first lecture, I just want to tell you that you must be very curious. During aptitude session, I have told you example of Einstein. He always said that I am a student of physics. So always remember that you should be always curious. Being an engineer, see, you must know that if you're driving a AC should be there. You must know where should I fit that AC, right? So all these things you must know. So as an engineer, start studying these things, right? तुम्हाला हा विचार आला पाहिजे की एखादा म्हणलं की मारुती 800 vehicle is there. So you should think that why it is Maruti 800. Afterwards, you will come to know that, okay, the engine capacity is 800 cc. That's why it is called as Maruti 800. Or MAT vehicle was there. So why it is called as MAT? Because the engine is 80 cc engine. The engine capacity is 80 cc, right? 80 centimeter cube is the volume of that engine. That's why it is called as MAT. Anyway, what I mean to say is that you should be curious. On a vehicle, if there is written like MPFI, so you should think what is MPFI. Then you will come to know it is multi-point fuel injection. Then you should think that what different injection systems are there, right? Which are more efficient? What are the pros and cons of different injection systems, right? If on your vehicle it is written like CRDI, right? So you must know that CRDI means common rail diesel injection. Or on Pulsar, there is a word like DTSI. Can anyone tell me what is the long form of that DTSI? Have you heard this word DTSI? Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. DTSI हा शब्द ऐकलाय तुम्ही?
No, sir.
पल्सर वरती DTSI
No,
लिहिलेलं
sir.
असतं. ड्युएल ट्विन स्पार्क इंजेक्शन. राईट? ड्युएल ट्विन स्पार्क म्हणजे पल्सर मध्ये 2 स्पार्क प्लग असतात. बाकी व्हेकल्स मध्ये एक स्पार्क प्लग असतो. एनिवे दॅट वी विल स्टडी इन डिटेल. What I just want to tell you is that एखाद्या व्हेकल वर लिहिलं असेल एअर ब्रेक, एखाद्यावर लिहिलं असेल हायड्रॉलिक ब्रेक्स. सो यू शुड थिंक दॅट व्हॉट इज एअर ब्रेक, राईट? आता तुम्हाला कदाचित माहित नसेल कारण आपण अजून ब्रेकिंग सिस्टम स्टडी केलेल्या नाहीयेत. पण जेव्हा आपण ब्रेकिंग सिस्टम स्टडी करू, at that time the concept will be clear to you. But before that, just remember that I'm trying to tell you is that being an engineer, you must be curious about each and everything. For example, तुम्ही AC परचेस करायला गेला आणि त्यांनी विचारलं की 1.5 टन AC आहे. सो यू शुड बी इन अ पोझिशन. तुम्हाला एखाद्या जिम साठी AC डिझाईन करायचा आहे. मग तुम्हाला हे वर्कआउट करता आलं पाहिजे की जिम मध्ये किती लोक वर्कआउट करतात. एक माणूस जेव्हा वर्कआउट करतो तेव्हा तो किती एनर्जी जनरेट करतो, राईट? आणि ते कॅल्क्युलेशन्स करून तुम्हाला एसीचं टनेज फिक्स करता आलं पाहिजे, एसीचं लोकेशन फिक्स करता आलं पाहिजे. किंवा घरी तुमचा फ्रीज आहे तर फ्रीजच्या मागच्या ज्या ब्लॅक कॉइल्स आहेत त्या कंडेन्सर कॉइल्स असतात, राईट? कॉम्प्रेसर जो असतो तो हर्मिटिकली सील्ड कॉम्प्रेसर असतो. एक इंजिनियर म्हणून तुम्हाला हा इंटरेस्ट पाहिजे की त्या सिस्टम्स कशा कशा आहेत. तुम्ही नेटवर स्टडी केलं तर प्लेंटी ऑफ स्टफ इज अवेलेबल, राईट? ऍटलिस्ट स्पेसिफिकेशन मॅन्युअल बघून तुम्हाला गोष्टी समजून घेता आल्या पाहिजेत. इफ यू आर युझिंग अ वॉटर फिल्टर, यू शुड नॉट से दॅट आय एम नॉट अ सिव्हिल इंजिनियर अँड आय डोंट नो व्हॉट इज TDS, राईट? वॉटर फिल्टरला आपण TDS ऍडजस्ट करतो. व्हॉट इज द लॉंग फॉर्म ऑफ दॅट TDS? All of you, do you use water filter?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So when we fit water filter, right, the person who is giving demo, he will show you that let's say you are using bore water or you are using water from municipal corporation. So this is the TDS of your water, and when we'll fit this air filter, see, he will show you reading before fitting the filter and after fitting the filter. फिल्टर बसवण्याच्या आधी ते TDS रिडिंग घेऊन तुम्हाला दाखवतात. अँड वन्स दे फिट दॅट फिल्टर, आफ्टर दॅट ऑल्सो दे विल शो यू TDS रिडिंग अँड दे विल शो यू दॅट दिस TDS इज मार्जिनली रिड्युस्ड. मग ते टोटल डिझॉल्व सॉलिड जे असतात TDS, तो काय असतो, त्याच्यामध्ये UV समजा असेल, त्या फिल्टरमध्ये आतमध्ये काय काय असतं रे? व्हॉट थिंग्स आर देअर इनसाइड द फिल्टर? Have you seen? Okay, anyway, see, I'm just telling you that you should now start thinking in this way. What I'm trying to tell you is that now you are going to become engineers. You must be curious, right? You should study each and everything in detail. Engineer म्हणून तुम्हाला कॉस्ट अनालिसिस जमलं पाहिजे. What is the initial cost? What is the operating cost? And depending upon economics, aesthetics, and ergonomics, you must be in a position to select a proper vehicle. So what I mean to say is that even if some household domestic appliances are there, so as an engineer, you must know how that device works. You must know how a fan works. घराचा कमीत कमी आपल्याला एनर्जी ऑडिट करता आलं पाहिजे की घरामध्ये आपलं इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कन्झम्पशन किती आहे. समजा तुम्हाला घरावरती सोलर पॅनल बसवायचा आहे, तर तो किती बाय कितीचा बसवायचा आहे, कुठल्या कंपनीचा आणायचा आहे. लेट्स से तुम्हाला वॉटर हीटर बसवायचा आहे, सोलर वॉटर हीटर, किंवा गॅस गीझर बसवायचा आहे, मग त्याची इफिशियन्सी काय असते, राईट? ह्या लहान लहान गोष्टी ज्या आहेत, ह्या लहान लहान गोष्टी तुम्हाला वर्कआउट करता आल्या पाहिजेत. अँड दॅट इज व्हॉट इज द ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह बिहाइंड दिस सब्जेक्ट, right? That is there in last unit. Domestic appliances are there, right? See, I think you are only acquainted with second unit, that is engineering thermodynamics. Okay, okay, fine. Now see, so as you are acquainted with thermodynamics, so remaining stuff we'll discuss afterwards. Okay, just 1 second. So this is your syllabus, right? First unit is introduction to energy sources and its conversion, and second unit is introduction to thermal engineering, right? So here you will study laws of thermodynamics, right? You will come to know about state of system, right? Different processes. Then you will study what is a heat engine, what is a heat pump, and what is a refrigerator. And simple numericals are there, very simple formulas are there, right? And plug in plug out kind of stuff is there. So simple formula, you have to understand the given data, right? You have to apply the formula and you have to do the calculations. Then you will be studying modes of heat transfer, conduction, convection, radiation. Then we will be studying this Fourier's law, Newton's law, and Stephen Boltzmann's law. Tell me very frankly, have you heard about this unit number 2 before? Till this part? You may not have studied this 2-stroke engine and 4-stroke engine, right? You may not have studied how petrol engine, that is SI engine, works. You might not have studied what is diesel engine, or how a CI engine, compression ignition engine, works. Or you might not have studied CNG engines. But here तुम्ही स्टडी केलंय का thermodynamics, laws of thermodynamics?
हो सर.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, so tell me about modes of heat transfer or laws of thermodynamics. As this is our first lecture, we are just discussing about contents of the syllabus. So just let me know that what you have studied in this. Have you studied modes of heat transfer? Conduction, convection, radiation, have you studied?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. So can anyone tell me what is the difference between conduction, convection, and radiation? Or just tell me one thing, that 3 laws are there. One is Fourier's law of heat conduction, one is Newton's law of cooling, and one is Stephen Boltzmann's law. Tell me which is the law governing conduction? फक्त नाव सांगा मला. कंडक्शन कोणत्या लॉने गव्हर्न होतं? कंडक्शन इज गव्हर्न्ड बाय विच लॉ? Okay, anyway, you need not worry. We will study everything in detail. मी अगदी तुम्हाला ल्युसिड लँग्वेजमध्ये अगदी सोप्या भाषेमध्ये या सगळ्या गोष्टी आपण छान प्रकारे डिस्कस करू. आजच्या लेक्चरला आपल्याला फक्त हेच बघायचं आहे की आपल्याला काय काय स्टडी करायचं आहे. द ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह बिहाइंड दिस लेक्चर इज just to give you a glimpse of what things we are going to study during our theory lectures, theory sessions or practical sessions. Okay. Now see, this is the law governing conduction, Fourier's law. This is the law governing convection, that is Newton's law of cooling, and this is the law governing radiation, which is Stephen Boltzmann's law. I think you might have studied this, right? Radiation, I think you have studied, no?
Yes.
Just tell me one thing. Why it is called as Stephen Boltzmann's law? Radiation ची phenomenon कोणत्या law ने govern होते? Stephen Boltzmann's law. The phenomenon of radiation is governed by Stephen Boltzmann's law. Can anyone just tell me? I'm not asking you technical thing. I'm asking you a general thing that why it is called as Stephen Boltzmann's law. Because see, there are two scientists. One is Stephen and one is Boltzmann. What is the statement of Stephen Boltzmann's law? It states that the emissive power of a perfectly black body is directly proportional to fourth power of its absolute temperature. Has or is proportional. हा जो सिग्मा आहे स्टीफन बोल्ट्झमन्स कॉन्स्टंट याची व्हॅल्यू असते 5.67 into 10⁻⁻8 वॅट्स पर मीटर स्क्वेअर केल्विन रेस टू 4. One scientist did analytical calculations on this and one proved it experimentally. That's why this law is called as Stephen Boltzmann's law. Right? Anyway, as it is our first lecture, we will not go into technical details, but see, what I mean to say is that you should have an interpretive kind of mindset to understand what is conduction, what is convection, what is radiation. Yes, can anyone tell me what is conduction, what is convection and what is radiation? काय फरक असतो रे कंडक्शन, कन्व्हेक्शन आणि रेडिएशन मध्ये? Okay, just tell me, have you heard these words before? पूर्वी ऐकलेत हे शब्द कंडक्शन, कन्व्हेक्शन, रेडिएशन?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, can anyone try to tell me what is conduction?
Sir, suppose a pan is kept on the gas and there is spoon inside it, so that heat will get transferred to the spoon, so it might be conduction.
Excellent, very good. Very good. So that is conduction. So heat carried in a spoon. Let's say this is your spoon, right? When you heat this part will get heated. This is due to conduction. See, I will give you a very simple example, right? Before that, you tell me what is convection?
Occurs in gases and liquid.
Excellent. In gases and liquids, that is in fluids. Gases and liquids comes under the category of fluids. Gases and liquids combinedly they are called as fluids. So in fluids there is convection. Excellent, very good. In example of convection, just like Jashoda Chaudhary has given quoted the example for conduction, that heat transferred in a spoon is because of conduction. On the same line, can anyone give me the example for convection? कन्व्हेक्शनचं एखादं एक्झाम्पल कोट करता येईल कुणाला? Just we'll take a simple example. Let's take a vessel, and in that, let's say milk is there or water is there. So when you heat that, what happens? The liquid, the water which is in contact with the lowermost layer of the vessel, that will get heated. When that water will get heated, its temperature will rise, right? When temperature will rise, its volume will increase, means its density will decrease, and it will start moving towards the upper layer, right? And the cold water which is present in the upper layer, that will start moving towards the lower layer. So in this way, heat transfer will be there. So that is called as convection. So as Manjari has told that in fluids, that is in liquids and gases, there is convection, right? For example, let's say a hot cup of tea is there, right? After some times it will get cold. So whatever heat is transferred from that cup or from the free surface to the surrounding, it is because of convection. It is because of convection, right? Convection occurs in liquids and gases. Conduction occurs in solids. Okay, can anyone quote any example for radiation?
From
Transfer of
UV
energy
rays.
with the
Transfer of energy from.
with the help of electromagnetic wave.
Excellent. Transfer of energy with the help of electromagnetic waves. That is what happens in case of radiations. Now tell me one thing, these electromagnetic waves, Planck's law, E is equal to h nu, they carry some energy, right? So do they need any media for their movement or transfer? Electromagnetic waves, do they need media?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
Electromagnetic waves doesn't need media.
Yes, sir.
That's why whatever energy we are receiving from sun, right? In between, there are some spaces where there is no medium, right? But still we receive that energy because that energy is in the form of electromagnetic waves. Remember that electromagnetic waves doesn't need media. तुम्हाला जर कोणी सांगितलं की व्हॅक्यूम मध्ये हीट ट्रान्सफर होतीये, there is a vacuum. Vacuum means when nothing is there, we say that vacuum is there. So if there is heat transfer in vacuum, tell me, will it be because of conduction, will it be because of convection, or will it be because of radiation?
Radiation.
Because of
Excellent. Very good. So it will be only because of radiation. That will be pure radiation. That will be pure radiation. I believe this is clear to you. I will just quote a very simple example to you. Next week मध्ये जेव्हा ऑफलाईन एक्झाम ऑफलाईन तुमचे क्लासेस स्टार्ट होतील, at that time we'll study everything in detail, right? As we are just discussing. So I will just tell you a very simple example. Assume that you are sitting in the class, right? All of you are there, classroom is there, right? All benches are filled, right? And I give you a task that this is my pen. I want to transfer this pen from, let's say, first bench to last bench. So what are the different possibilities? First possibility is there that I will give this pen to student sitting on first bench. He will hand it over to student sitting on second bench, right? The student sitting on second bench will hand it over to student sitting on third bench. And in this way, the pen will get transferred from first bench to last bench, right? Okay. What is the second possibility? What is the second way that we can work out? We can do simply one thing. I will hand over this chalk or pen to student sitting on first bench, and he will carry the pen along with him till the last bench, right? And what is the third possibility? If students are not there and still I want to transfer this pen from first bench to last bench, so simply I can throw this pen from first bench to last bench. Now try to understand that students are nothing but molecules. Students are nothing but molecules, and this pen is nothing but energy. This is nothing but energy. In first way, what happened? Students, they have not left their mean positions. Students, they have not left their mean positions. पहिल्या बेंचवरचा मुलगा त्यांनी फक्त पेन मागे दिला, त्यांनी त्याची स्वतःची पोझिशन नाही सोडली. So in first way, molecules have not left their mean position, right? Still there is transfer of energy. So it may be because of lattice vibrations or moment of free electrons. So that way out is called as conduction. Remember that in conduction, there is no moment of molecules. In second way, what happened? The student sitting on first bench, he will take this pen and he will carry the pen along with him till the last bench, right? So molecules have left their position, right? This is called as convection. In convection, molecules are free. Molecules are free to move, right? That's why convection occurs in liquids and gases, right? And in third way, even if now the class is empty, simply I can throw the chalk. So I don't need students, means I don't need molecules. Still I can transfer the energy. So this happens in radiation. In radiations, energy can move, right? Even if medium is not there. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is that what is the condition for conduction? Molecules should not leave their mean position, and this happens in solids. What happens in convection? Molecules leave their position. So this happens in liquids and gases, right? So conduction takes place in solids. I'm talking about pure conduction, pure convection, and pure radiation. Conduction takes place in solids. Convection takes place in liquids and gases. And for radiation, medium is not required. To some extent, are you getting? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is what about conduction, convection, and radiation. Now see, the phenomenon of conduction is governed by Fourier's law of heat conduction. Fourier, basically, he was a mathematician, but he observed some things. He simply wrote three simple equations. He clubbed those three equations, and that law is called as Fourier's law of heat conduction. Right? Then Newton invented Newton's law of cooling. That concept is also very simple. Even a child who is studying in 8th standard, he can understand Fourier's law, Newton's law, what things they have observed, because they are very clear things. That is a kind of experiential learning. Simply he has observed and he has put it on a piece of paper that this thing is proportional to this thing is proportional to this thing is proportional to this thing. So simply club three equations and that forms your Fourier's law, or that forms your Newton's law. Stephen Boltzmann's law, it is related to black bodies. Okay, have you studied the concept of black body? Okay, can anyone tell me what thing is called as black body? Okay, I will quote the same question in other format. Can I say that ice is an example of black body? Ice, you might have seen ice. Is it an example of black body? Just I wanted to ask you that what do you think about black body? Has it to do anything with color black?
Sir, it absorbs all EMI radiations.
Excellent. The body which absorbs all incident radiations is called as black body. Absorptivity of the black body. Absorptivity is like percentage of the energy which is incident on an object which is absorbed, right? That fraction is called as absorptivity. Absorptivity for the black body is 1, right? Now see, the word black has nothing to do with color. Ice is also an example of black body, right? Because its absorptivity is 0.97. See, also remember that no perfectly black body exists. There is no body in universe which is having absorptivity exactly as 1, right? You can go high, you can go up to 1, like 0.9999. You can have that much absorptivity, but you cannot have absorptivity as 1. That is a hypothetical concept, purely hypothetical concept. You might have studied that a hole is there, spherical cavity is there, right? Small gap is there. That we'll discuss later on. What I mean to tell you is that now you have to start thinking in this way. Like what is the exact meaning of black body? Now see, what do you think? What is temperature of sun? Yes? Any idea? My next question is how temperature of sun is measured? Or before that, my question is whether the temperature of sun is measured or predicted. Sunचं जे टेम्परेचर असतं ते आपण मेजर करतो का प्रेडिक्ट करतो?
सब predict करतो.
Excellent. We predict temperature of sun. Tell me, which law do we use? In 12th, you have studied all laws, and one of them is used to predict temperature of sun. Can anyone tell me the name of that law?
Vane's displacement law.
Excellent, excellent. Vane's displacement law, lambda m into T is equal to 0.0028. Excellent. See, I just wanted to tell you that if this kind of approach is there, you will become very good engineers, right? So this approach should be there, that temperature of sun, how it is predicted, right? Which law is there? Are there some alternative methods to cross check, right? Let's say we predict temperature of sun using Venn displacement law. But can we find some alternative ways? Being engineers, see, there are three kind of approaches. One is analytical approach, one is experimental approach, and nowadays there is numerical approach. ह्या तिन्ही वेनी आपल्याला वर्कआउट करता आलं पाहिजे. अनालिटिकल म्हणजे अनालिटिकल स्टडी मीन्स द थिंग्स विच वी पुट इट ऑन अ पीस ऑफ पेपर. Mathematically we do some calculations and with the help of that we predict some things. Experiential things means we do experimentation. समजा एखाद्या गाडीचं ऍव्हरेज किती येईल हे मी कागदावर काढून बघितलं की ठीक आहे त्या गाडीमध्ये मी काय यूज केलं. लेट से इट इज अ पेट्रोल इंजिन, सो आय हॅव यूज सम थर्मोडायनामिक सायकल लाईक ऑटो सायकल वी यूज इन पेट्रोल इंजिन्स, राईट? So if I used auto cycle, so efficiency of that auto cycle is 1 minus 1 upon rp raised to gamma minus 1 upon gamma. So simply I will put the values, what is the value of gamma, what is compression ratio, and based on that I will predict what is efficiency. In experiential learning, actually I will create a device which will work on auto cycle and actually I will measure the efficiency. Actually I will measure input parameters and output parameters, and based on that I will do calculations and find my efficiency. And numerical means on computer, without creating experimental setup, without doing the analytical stuff, using the concepts of CAD, CAM, CAE and all other basics, right? I will do the calculations. So that is called as numerical approach. So as an engineer, we have to think in all approaches, right? As an engineer, we must be curious, right? This question should be always there, that why kind of question should be always there. एक लक्षात घ्या, as an engineer, one of my students is IPS. He is a student from my first batch and I always feel proud about him that now he is heading NIA, National Investigation Agency, right? And he is one of like very famous IPS officers in India. His name is Vikram Kalate. So he is a student from my first batch. So when he became IPS, after that he called me and he told me that I got selected, the interview was really great and all other things. So I just asked him that what things they ask in interview. Now see, IPS is general UPSC examination, it is not technical UPSC. So even if general UPSC examination was there, he was asked the question that Vikram, as you have done engineering, just let us know about the scenario of electricity generation in India. Have you got any idea that how much electricity do we need, using which different sources we produce that energy? And he was supposed to do a simple program which was based on C language. And when he came out of that room, right, he came to know that the interviewer was C. Balaguru Swami, right? He is a famous author for the book of C. So what I mean to say is that even if you go for general UPSC or even if you go for general things, right, you must be good in technical things because you are engineers. Being an engineers, you must be able to think in a technical way. एक इंजिनियर म्हणून लहान लहान गोष्टी ज्या असतात, आपल्या घरातला समजा वॉटर फिल्टर आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये सिस्टम्स कोणकोणत्या आहेत, आपल्या घरामध्ये रेफ्रिजरेटर आहे, लहान लहान गोष्टींचा विचार करता आला पाहिजे की फ्रीझर कंपार्टमेंट नेहमी वरतीच का असतं. Have you observed this? Freezer compartment is always at the top. Why not it is at the bottom? So we should be in a position to think in this way. Freezer compartment नेहमी वरतीच का असतं, खाली का नसतं. मग आपल्याला समजतं की नॅचरल कन्व्हेक्शन लूप काय असतं. What is density? Right? What happens if we keep freezer compartment at the bottom? Only bottom compartments will become cold. Right? Upper compartments will remain warm. But if we keep freezer compartment at the top, all compartments there will be heat extraction from all compartments. Afterwards, we will discuss each and everything in detail. As this is our first lecture, I just wanted to tell you that you are going to become engineers and you must think in that approach, right? Engineering is not just a degree, it is an approach. Dr. Anil Kakodkar म्हणून भारताचे न्यूक्लिअर डीन होते, त्यांचं हे फेमस वाक्य आहे. He was also dean at IIT Powai, right? IIT Powai मध्ये एकदा सांगताना त्यांनी सांगितलं, मुलांना लेक्चर देत होते ते, जसं आज मी तुमच्याशी बोलतोय तसं ते IIT च्या मुलांना लेक्चर देत होते, IIT Powaiच्या. and Dr. Anil Kakodkar said that engineering is not just a degree, but it is an approach. So one of the students raised his hand and he asked that, sir, I don't agree with you. Can you prove this practically? So he said yes. So that student was studying in third year. So when that student went in final year, Dr. Anil Kakodkar took him to an industry, राईट. त्या इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये एका प्रेशर वेसलचं वेल्डिंग चाललं होतं. त्या मुलांना त्यांनी सांगितलं की तू कॅल्क्युलेशन्स कर, आणि तो जो वर्कर होता त्यालाही त्यांनी सेम क्वेश्चन सांगितलं की वेल्डचे कॅल्क्युलेशन्स कर जर प्रेशर इंटेन्सिटी चेंज झाली तर त्या वर्करने कॅल्क्युलेशन्स खडू उचलला आणि पत्र्यावरती केले, आणि ह्या मुलाने कॅल्क्युलेशन्स कॅल्क्युलेटरवरती केले. दोघांचे आन्सर्स बऱ्यापैकी सेम होते आणि दोघांनी आन्सर एक नियरली सेम टाइमला दिले. मग डॉक्टर अनिल काकोडकरांनी सांगितलं की सी that worker is not having resources, he is not having calculator, right? But still he knows what he is doing. He is not just putting the weld, he is not only skilled worker, right? But at the same time he also knows, right? He also knows what he is doing. So even though he is ITI and even though you are from IIT, for me you both are engineers. So Dr. Anil Kakodkar always tell in his lectures that engineering is not just a degree, but it is an approach. And when we will acquire that approach, then only we can call ourselves as engineers, right? त्यामुळे 4 वर्षाचं तुमचं जे ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह आहे, undoubtedly different objectives will be there. You want to become a good entrepreneur, right? Someone of you may say that I want to work in Google. So that kind of objectives may be there, but at the same time, our objective should be that we should become good engineer. Once we acquire that approach, yes, definitely plenty of scope is there, right? Okay, fine. So from tomorrow's lecture, right, we'll start with our unit number 1. Right? Already I have made that Google Classroom, but as you don't have your official mail IDs, so I can't add you in that Google Classroom. So just wait for 2 days, right? I will add you in that Google Classroom. So you'll get all material, right? You'll get study notes, you'll get PowerPoint presentations, you'll get objective questions, you'll get subjective questions, you'll get question bank, you'll get question papers of last 5 years, right? That everything will be made available on our GC, that is Google Classroom. Okay, anyway, now all of you, do you know your roll numbers?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So we'll take attendance. Is anything else that you want to ask? Okay, fine. I think all have joined our WhatsApp group, no? FE1.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
From first batch, I can see that a lot of students are absent from first batch. After roll number 1, directly roll number 17 is there. फर्स्ट बॅचचा काही इश्यू आहे का? ओके, ठीक आहे. बऱ्याच जणांनी रोल नंबर नाही टाकले आता जॉईन होताना. ठीक आहे. सो व्हॉट आय विल डू इज आय विल जस्ट कॉल युअर रोल. ऑल ऑफ यू, डू यू नो युअर रोल नंबर्स or should I display your roll numbers on screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All of you, do you know your roll numbers, no?
Yes, sir. We
Yes,
know.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine, fine. Chalo. So I will just call your roll number. Please give your attendance. Roll number 1.
Present, sir.
Okay. Roll number 2.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, directly call you. 1 minute, sir.
मी तुमची नावं घेऊन अटेंडन्स घेऊ का?
Yes, sir.
ओके 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 फाईन. चलो. रोल नंबर 1 अर्पिता. She is present. Okay. Roll number 2 Anjali. So roll number 2 is absent. At the end again I will call absent numbers. जरी एखाद्याला नेटवर्क इश्यू असेल, रोल नंबर संपल्यानंतर परत मी absent नंबर कॉल करेल. तेव्हा जरी तुम्ही सांगितलं की मी प्रेझेंट आहे किंवा लेक्चर संपल्यानंतर जरी ग्रुपवर टाकलं I was present, but I was having network issue. In that case, I will consider your attendance. Okay, roll number 2 is absent. Roll number 3, Abhilasha. Okay, 3 is absent. 4, Mrudula. 5, Aditya. 6, Aniket.
Present, sir.
Aniket ka Aditya?
Aniket, sir.
Okay, okay. So 6 is present. Okay. Then 7, Swananda.
Present, sir.
Okay. 8, Vijay. Sorry, Atharva.
Present.
Okay, fine. 9, Pavan. Okay, 9 is absent. 10, Aishwarya. Okay, see, so from 1 to 10, the absent numbers are, I will just read absent numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10. Okay. Now, 11, Ajay.
Present, sir.
Okay. 12, Shivam.
Present, sir.
13, Trushna. Okay. 14, Ruchita.
Present, sir.
Okay. 15, Vaishnavi. Okay. 16, Sanskruti. 17, Soham.
Present. Present.
Yes, 18, Shruti.
Present, sir.
Okay. 19, Karishma. Okay. 20.
Present.
Okay, 20 is present. So from 11 to 20, the absent numbers are 13, 15, 16, and 19. Now,
Sir, 19.
21, Vedant.
Present, sir.
Sir.
Okay. 22, Anjali.
Present, sir.
Okay. 23, Atharva.
Present, sir.
24, Avinash. Okay, so 24 is absent. Next, 25, Sanika.
Present, sir.
Okay. 26, Om.
Present, sir.
27, Swapnali.
Present, sir.
28, Ketan. Okay. 29, Pooja.
Present, sir.
Okay. 30, Akash.
Present, sir.
Okay. So from 21 to 30, the absent numbers are 24 and 28. Okay. Now 31 to 40. 31, Abhishek.
Present, sir.
Okay. 32, Ajay.
Present, sir.
33, Rohan. 34, Shubham.
Present, sir.
35, Yash. Okay. 36, Anish.
Present, sir.
Okay. 37, Samiksha. 38, Piyush. 39, Aniket. 40, Sandhya.
Present, sir.
Okay. So from 31 to 40, the absent numbers are 33, 35, 37, and 38. Now 41 to 50. 41.
Present, sir.
Okay. 42,
Present, sir.
43, Shubham. Okay. 43 is absent. 44.
Present.
Okay. Suraj is present. 45, Siddhant.
Present, sir.
Okay. 46,
Present, sir.
47,
Present, sir.
48,
Present, sir.
49. 49, I think she was there, but due to network issue, she might have left, right? Okay, fine. 50?
Present, sir.
Okay, fine. So in between 41 to 50, the absent numbers are 43 and 49. Okay. So we'll take attendance now from 51 to 60. 51, 52,
Present, sir.
okay, 53, Nikita Chavan. Okay, 54, 55, 56. Yes, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 56 is also absent. 57, Vaishnavi Chavan.
Present, sir.
Okay,
Present, sir.
57 is present. Okay, fine. 58, Shravant. Okay, 58 is absent. 59, okay, 59 is present. 60, so the absent numbers are from 51 to 60, the absent numbers are 51, 53, 54, 55, 56, 58 and 60.
Sir, 60 is present.
60 is present. Okay, so I will mark your attendance. So
Sir,
60 is
53
present.
present.
Yes, roll number 50,
3.
53, no? 53.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I will mark your present. 53 is present. Okay, fine. Okay, now 61 onwards. 61, Pratik. Okay, 61 is absent. Okay, 61 is present. Okay, fine. Pratik is present. 62.
Present, sir.
Okay, 63. 63 is absent. Okay, 64.
Present, sir.
Okay, 65.
Present, sir.
Okay, 66.
Present, sir.
Okay, 67.
Present, sir.
Okay, 68. Okay, so 68 is
Present, sir.
absent. Okay, 68 is also present. 69. Yes. 70. Yogesh.
Present, sir.
Okay, fine. So the absent numbers from 60 to 70 are 63 and 69. Right? I will just call the absent numbers once again and then you can leave the meeting. The absent numbers are 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 13, 15, 16, 19,
Excuse me, sir.
24, 28. यातलं कुणी आहे का प्रेझेंट?
Yes, sir.
सांगा नंबर तुमचा.
19.
19. ओके, सो 19 इज प्रेझेंट. अजून कुणी आहे का यातलं प्रेझेंट? 30 पर्यंतचे ऍबसेंट नंबर वाचले मी. आय हॅव रीड ऍबसेंट नंबर्स अप टू 30. 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 13, 15, 16, 24, 28. Okay. Now the next absent numbers are 33, 35, 37, 38. Okay. Now the next absent numbers are 51, 54, 55, 56, 58, and then 63 and 69.
Sir, 1137. Samiksha Bhojpuri is present.
Please tell me the roll number again.
1137. Samiksha Bhojpuri.
37 is present. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So you can leave the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, sir.